It's an I-team undercover investigation. See how a few brief moments during a routine traffic stop sent one man to the hospital and has some claiming police brutality. It was over in a flash and ended with a blood-curdling scream. In one brief moment, a Morgan County deputy using a metal flashlight dropped a suspect to the ground.
Our I-Team senior reporter Dale Russell obtained the dashboard camera video that captured the arrest and sparked outrage in the Morgan County community. Dale?
Russ, it's a disturbing story and one in which no one seems happy with the outcome. A young man is bloodied and rushed to the hospital. A multi-million-dollar lawsuit is now filed. A veteran deputy loses his career, and some say the Morgan County Sheriff should never have let it happen. At first glance, it's a routine traffic stop in a small Georgia town.
I see your driver's license insurance, please, ma'am.
But something is about to go horribly wrong. Caught by a deputy's dashboard camera, the images of what happened to A.J. Richardson on this night haunt him to this day. It was October 2003. Morgan County Deputy Tracy Franklin stops a car making an illegal turn in Madison. The passengers say they are friends of the deputy's daughter. He immediately asks to search their car.
I don't want any trouble. I don't want you to think I'm trying to hide anything.
A.J. Richardson was one of those passengers. His aunt and cousin describe him as an innocent and childlike young man. They helped raise him after A.J.'s mother abandoned the family and his father committed suicide. A.J. was convicted of selling drugs 5 years ago and given probation. He admits to battling an addiction problem.
Y'all can search me because I ain't doing nothing wrong. Put your hands right there for me.
During the search, Morgan County Deputy John Conwell arrived at the scene, in no mood for A.J. questioning why deputies were searching him.
Man, what did I do wrong, sir? That's all I got.
You don't shut up. I'm going to put you in jail for obstruction of an officer right now.
Moments later, Deputy Conwell finds one marijuana cigarette pulled from A.J.'s pocket. When he tells A.J. he's under arrest, Richardson says he panicked.
Where were you going?
I felt violated, scared, threatened.
Deputy Franklin pins him against the car, but Deputy Conwell steps in and slams A.J. in the head with his metal flashlight. In a written statement, a state ranger at the scene wrote, as Conwell was hitting A.J., he said something like, "You wanted it, now you're going to get it."
He could have been killed. He was like a couple of inches from being at the temporal point of his head.
Morgan County Sheriff Robert Markley's policy strictly prohibits the use of flashlights as a weapon unless an officer's life is in danger. Still, Markley defends his deputy, saying he reacted instinctively.
Do we do this at every stop? No, that's not what the sheriff's office is about. Do we, do we go out intentionally trying to injure people? No.
Deputy Conwell initially told internal investigators he accidentally hit A.J. Later, he said it was an instinctive reaction, and finally admitted he hit A.J. intentionally, claiming he was afraid A.J. might grab a weapon. But look at the tape. Conwell shows no concern about any danger from the other passengers who casually walk around without being searched.
These individuals should be in handcuffs sitting on the ground. They shouldn't be walking around.
A.J.'s head was cut open. There was so much blood that deputies put a towel over it to soak it all up. And then medics rushed A.J. to the hospital for treatment. But some believe what Deputy Conwell did next, when A.J.'s relatives arrived at the scene, was even more frightening.
It's just like, that was okay. Just hit him in the head. He's talking back to me. I'm just going to bust him in the head, shut him up.
When a passenger told the family it was Conwell who attacked A.J., his cousin Jamisha exploded. She frankly admits she began yelling, even cussing Deputy Conwell. You can't hear her on the dashboard tape because the sound has been turned off. But what happened next horrified the two women. Deputy Franklin told investigators that Deputy Conwell moved toward Jamisha and reached for his gun, stating, "Don't hold her, I've got my gun." Deputy Franklin told internal investigators he was so worried he grabbed Conwell's arm when he saw him grabbing his gun.
He wanted me to come towards him so he could shoot me.
Morgan County's internal investigation concluded that deadly force, which many may consider a strike to the head with an aluminum flashlight, was not justified. And at the very least, severe policy violations have occurred. So what did Sheriff Markley do? Before taking any disciplinary action, he let Deputy Conwell retire.
He had 21 years with the Morgan County Sheriff's Department. He decided to go ahead and take his retirement and move elsewhere.
So he wasn't fired?
He was not fired.
But Sheriff, you could easily have said resigned in lieu of termination.
Correct.
What do you think when you see this?
Death.
Death? A.J. Richardson has filed a lawsuit against the sheriff and Deputy Conwell. His attorney, Guy Noddy, and paralegal Kathy Johnson can't believe that Conwell is free to work with another police department.
John Conwell is a sadist. He enjoys hurting people, and his history bears that out.
Now, tomorrow night, we'll tell you about Deputy Conwell's history, how a former sheriff removed him from the streets after he beat a DUI suspect with a slapjack. Now, we repeatedly tried to talk with Mr. Conwell. He wouldn't take our calls, and even his lawyer refused to talk to us. So we contacted his son, a police captain, who told us his father is not a brutal monster as portrayed, but a man who served Morgan County faithfully for 21 years. Captain Conwell says his father has been railroaded in the twilight of his career by people trying to minimize their own liability. Russ?
Wow. A.J. obviously was hit hard by that flashlight. Does he have any lasting injuries from that, Dale?
You know, they're having him tested right now, but he said he's had headaches ever since then. But he had a cut on his head. He didn't let them stitch him up. He was so afraid of the needle that he didn't want them to do that. So they kind of cleaned it up with those, oh, I forgot what the,
wipes.
Yeah,
So kind of like
that you put in on
alcohol
the,
or
yes, but he said in terms of lasting effects, we don't know yet. You're going to have to see the testing.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.